So I almost wasn't going to do this video because social anxiety stuff, but then I looked at something a dear friend lent me, and at the bottom of them it says Le Dame. I don't know how many of you know about it, but the damehood in the olden days was essentially a form of female knighthood. So I can't entirely justify not doing this when one of my friends needs it. So basically this is a video about my friend Rob Ham. He is an incredible writer, a very good friend from back in the days of LiveJournal, when he was the first random stranger to friend me, and we would have all of these wonderful long discussions about life, the universe, everything, kind of a 42 type deal. And he's always been there for me. We ended up working on a webcomic together after his girlfriend and resident artist was no longer able to do it on a regular basis, and that is called Blue Crash Kid. I'll give you a link to that. And recently his youngest son Ladin died, and he had Rob had recently moved away from Lawrence, where he lived near his family and his sons. He has 3 of them, and he hasn't been able to get back there. He missed the wake and everything back there, so it's been a really sad time for him. It's always terrible when somebody loses their child. You're supposed to outlive your child. And I haven't told him this yet, but I think that roughly around the day that Ladin passed, I was watching an episode of Doctor Who, and just skip to the end if you don't want any spoilers. And it was the episode where no, it wasn't. Darn it. I'm going to have to edit this and remove that entire thing. I was watching an episode of Burn Notice, and still, spoilers. The main character, Michael Weston, has a brother. His brother goes out on a spy mission to save the world, and his brother gets shot. So I'm forever going to have this association now between Burn Notice and Ladin and Rob, and I've told Rob he actually reminds me of a cross between the 10th Doctor and Sam Axe. So you can see how I would want to fund him in his return to Lawrence, Kansas, to be with his family in one of the worst times of their lives. But so basically what I've done is I started a GoFundMe crowdfunding effort to get him back to his family, back to where he feels safe and at home, and where he can deal best with this terrible loss. Rob isn't just a writer, he is a disabled veteran. He was injured not in combat, but definitely in service to his country. So he, kind of being Sam Axe, Mr. Wonderful, and far too stubborn for his own good, doesn't think that really counts. He thinks, because he has dear friends who were hurt or killed in combat, that his own sacrifice didn't mean anything, being kind of regular routine. but we all know that's wrong. He was still doing his job. So the operation that I've created is called Operation Ruby Slippers, because we're trying to get him back home to Kansas. And in celebration of this, I have actually borrowed a pair of red shoes, as you see here. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to click my ruby slippers together to send my friend home. Now, anybody that wants to help can do so by going to the crowdfunding page itself and contributing whatever they possibly can. We've had, donations of a few dollars. We've had donations of a few hundred, and the larger ones are great for, really getting things rolling, but the smaller ones are kind of, I think, the bread and butter of the whole thing. It's almost always the many little efforts that make something like this work. And then if you don't have the funding to help that way, I've also said that it may be your voice, it may be contributions to spreading the word, possibly making your own Ruby Slippers video, and if you're a man, all the better, especially if you are, say, a veteran yourself, a very manly man, because it shows that we can go outside of our comfort level and also outside of the expected norms in order to all work together to help one of our brothers in his time of need. So I'm going to give you some links, and I hope you'll be willing to do whatever you can to help us get Rob home to his family as he needs in one of the worst times of his life. So thank you very much. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.